What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Opening Edge. I am your part-time reduced host. I will say I am the fastest today on the New York Times mini crossword puzzle, but I'm your host, Roz. Today we are hosted by our special second place host, Xander Horowitz over here, Mr. Big Wits, and followed by our cap friend with no hair underneath, Rube. Wits, I'll let you take it away today. Welcome back to another episode. I know you're on your hot horse after last week. You felt like you did a great job just because I was a little bit impaired, but we'll let you take it away again for the second week in a row.
A little bit impaired. That's a good way to put it. But I don't know. The hosting duties, it just gave me a little spark, gave me a little bit more energy. So now we bring it back tonight. Got a couple segment ideas that I'm going to throw at you guys tonight. I know we're not prepared for it, but got a
Makes
couple
for
things
better
that we're going to
content,
talk
possibly.
about.
Maybe us
You
being
never know.
unprepared, I will never complain.
Yeah, and we'll redo a couple things. Maybe it'll work out. But I think we got to start off with NBA Finals. As we sit here right now, Celtics have a 2-0 lead. And as Rube said before, they are really good, right? They have looked very good.
I'm pretty
so
sure
far.
I was on the Boston side also, wasn't I? I thought I told you to take them. I'm pretty sure I told you to take a minus 185, right? That was the number I was giving.
Probably your other sports podcast must have been.
I only have one, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we might have to run the tape back on that, but we're 2 games in. Celtics, Kristaps coming back. It's been a big rejuvenation, especially in game 1. So let's start off with Rube here because he has been on the Celtics from day one here. Rube, what are your thoughts on the series so far? And do you think do the Mavs have any chance, or are the Celtics just as good as you told us beforehand?
Yeah, as the resident Boston Celtics fan of the group, which started about a month ago and will probably end in about a week. But Celtics have looked every bit as good as I expected them to look, and as I preached throughout the entire playoffs, which sometimes got agreement from the group, sometimes not. While they do have Tatum and Brown, it's their depth that's getting them through, and I think that could not have been more true in the first games. I think Kristaps really showed out in game 1, and Drew Holiday was outstanding last night. And even with Tatum and Brown not having the most amazing games, I think Tatum didn't even crack 20 points last night, was 1 for something from 3. But, they really had that game in the bag. I think the Mavericks made a little bit of a late run, but the Celtics really had that game under control in the second half, and Drew Holiday was just outstanding. I think he's just a winner. He's a really good guy to have on the team, plays really good defense, makes big shots when it counts. And I think the Celtics are well on their way to, maybe the Mavericks squeak one out. I think, looking at the Dallas side, Luka's gotten his. I think that's what we expected to happen, but no one else on that team has really showed up. Kyrie's been borderline terrible in the series so far, and the role players have come back down to earth, which I'm not going to pat myself on the back here, but that's kind of what I said was going to happen here, and that's exactly how it's playing out. So we won't say who was on the Celtics, who was on the other side, but I am going to pat myself on the back a little bit with the analysis of the series before it and how it's gone so far.
Roz, you look like you got something to say, so tell us what you're thinking so far.
These episodes are taped, so we can go back. So don't try and make up a lie.
I'm honestly fighting in my own head right now about what I wanted to say because there's a lot of back and forth conundrum within my own arguments I'm going to make about this team, which is Witz's least favorite thing about me, as I frequently change arguments. I don't want to take away anything from Drew Holiday. I do want to say the Mavericks will look back on that game and be severely disappointed. Whatever they had done to strategize for game 2 worked amazing until about 4 or 3 minutes left in the second or first half, and then they just let them landslide into the third quarter, and it was fight back mode. They fell even deeper in the fourth quarter. I think PJ Washington, a person you've mentioned, Witz, is a fucking bum. And pardon my French or my Arabic, whatever that word is, he's a bum. He never hits an important shot or makes an important play at any time. And why he has the ball in his hands at the end of the game is beyond me, right? And everyone's on Kyrie for playing badly. Kyrie made some big shots. Kyrie got to the rim at important times. I think people look too much into the numbers sometimes. What is the point value? I think Kyrie is not playing up to NBA Finals snuff right now, but it can change, all right? I am waving the white flag. I only because I think I'm the Western Conference kiss of death. I mean, from going with the Nuggets to win the NBA Finals to seeing them collapse in a game 7 to going with the Timberwolves to win the NBA Finals to seeing none of their players show up against the Mavericks, that defense almost non-existent, to me going with the Mavericks to win the NBA Finals and literally not. I mean, Derek Lively might as well not even show up to the stadium. I mean, had 0 points in game 1. He's been absolutely irrelevant. I understand he's a rookie. I'll take a bit of a chill pill on him, but the role players in Dallas are just gone. And role players doesn't mean you don't contribute to a championship team. In fact, the best championship teams of all time run by their role players. Fuck, Andre Iguodala won Finals MVP on those Warriors teams that stopped LeBron James. The role players have to show up, and it's not a series to series thing. It's just all year. Like your role players are what contribute to your championship success. It is really feeling like it's on Luka's back, and a guy who's like missing a lung, broken a rib, missing a kneecap. Like Luka is being taped together and still scoring 30 points. I think they win game 3. I'm going to continue to bet the Mavericks until they're out.
What happened to the white flag? Is that done now?
Well, because I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Money's going to move, right? It's going to move on my phone. Doesn't mean I'm proud of it. Doesn't mean I haven't lifted the white flag, right? Like it's flying high. I have text messages you can put on here as well, right? The embarrassing text messages. I waved, whatever you want to do. White flag's out and about. Still money's going to be transferred. I'm not like Wits. I'm not hiding behind something. I'm going to put it on. I don't like that they're -1.5 in game 3. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. Would love a little plus value when they're at home. Celtics have been good on the road. I guess people are fucking forgetting that, but it's not up to me. Just disappointed. I literally feel like the kiss of death when it comes to the Western Conference this year. I'm just killing teams round after round. Every time I fucking put money on them.
So I guess in your opinion, is who's more to blame here? That 3 or 4 Mavericks role players or Kyrie Irving? Because I gave him a little bit of a pass. I think Kyrie he really hasn't shown up, right? And he is not a role player. He is, I would say, still a star in the league. So if you had to put the blame between either Kyrie or the rest of the role players who aren't doing that well, who deserves more of the blame right now for the Mavs being in a 2-0 hole?
I mean, 7 of 18, 16 points, 6 assists, not great. 12 points in game 1. You want more from your start. I think what's not being paid attention to is when Luka was off the court, he was performing his best. And that's when he needed to do that, right? Does he need to show that consistency the entire game? Absolutely. But it's tough when they're both point guards, and Kyrie is a true point guard. He's not a spot up shooting guard. Like, yes, he's one of the best shooters in the league, but he's not spot up waiting for it. He creates his own shot. Luka has the ball consistently when he's on the court. So I think Kyrie does what he does best when Luka's off, and it's just finding a way to navigate. And I did say, we can all acknowledge, I said Drew Holiday and Derek White would cause a lot of problems. I mean, fuck, Jaylen Brown is playing better defense than I thought he was capable of. I mean, some of the one-on-one we're getting with Kyrie and Jaylen is a freaking monster out there on the defensive side. Props to him, a guy I've been making fun of because of his shitty left hand. Props to Jaylen Brown, who honestly could be carrying this team. I'm going with the role players. You asked me a question. Absolutely, like Kyrie will take the blame as a superstar, as a quarterback, as you should. But these role players are absolutely non-existent. I mean, yeah. I don't
understand though. I don't understand. Like you said, Kyrie's only good on his own when Luke is on the bench, but people were, crowning them the best backcourt of all time 2 weeks ago.
No, I don't disagree.
Like, and they were
I'm
humming,
saying the consistency.
Kyrie just forgot to show up in the.
Yeah,
in the
I
finals.
agree.
Like I think 16 and 12. I don't care. I don't care if points is necessarily where the buck stops, but that's just not going to cut it from a guy like that. Like
no,
he hasn't been efficient at all. He hasn't made shots, and yeah, your role players are going to come and go. They say role players will play better at home. Maybe that'll be the case when they go back to Dallas, but your stars have got to get you through these games, and Kyrie just plain and simple just hasn't.
Yeah, but I'm
cut
sure how many games this year has Luka put up 30 and Kyrie's quietly not put up the numbers that we'd expect a superstar to put up, and they pulled off.
No one cares.
Fine.
This is the NBA Finals, though.
No one really cares about game 52
then it's it's
January.
2 games in. I'm not trying to pull down my white flag. I'm leaving it up. It's up there. But just
no Kornheisers?
No, I'm just take it. Everyone take it easy. on everyone they look for the storyline. They want Kyrie to be the GOAT here of like going back to Boston, laying an egg in front of the crowd that booed him out of the city. And they want like they want this flat earth thing telling story to follow. Like it's the role players. Derek Lively had 0 points in game one, and like
They're not looking for Derek Lively to score points.
Yeah, but you don't want to be not scoring points when you get the ball 1 foot from the rim. I mean, him and Gafford under there have been
Gafford
arguably
scored
tough
16 points. He had more than Kyrie.
Not game one.
Game two, he did. He should never be outscoring Kyrie.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying these guys are not. They just aren't. First off, they're touching the ball way too late in the game. It should only be Luka and Kyrie touching the ball. So maybe you want to take some blame for mismanagement, coaching, or mismanagement by your star players at the end of the game. I don't know why I'm defending the Mavericks. They're down 2-0. I think they're going to get swept. I don't really care, but it's the role players who have absolutely let me down. I've watched all the games. The role players, every time PJ Washington gets a ball in the corner, or now all of a sudden he's stepping out from like the angle three, I'm like, this ball's clanking. It's just like this weird, like up push shot, and it's just clanked off the rim. I'm just like, I would have rather Luka chucked a fadeaway from 45 feet. Like, fuck PJ Washington. Fuck PJ Washington and fuck Witz. I don't know why, but every time I see PJ shoot, I think Witz is saying PJ Washington is the role player we all need. He stinks. He fucking stinks.
Okay, he has not played very well so far.
How do you miss a dunk?
I don't know.
Can't cover 7? You're down 3? And you let them push it back up to 7? All I asked for was covering 7. I didn't ask for anything else.
6.5 was never a doubt.
So, Roz, you brought it up a little bit there. Time for this little test out of a segment idea. We're going to go, we need a new name for it, but we're going to go fact or fiction. I want to get both your guys' opinions. Jaylen Brown has earned that contract extension that everybody shit on last year. I want to hear your guys' thoughts.
It's a great question.
Sure, I'll say fact. Like I don't think he's a top 10 player in the league, but I think that team just works so well together that you kind of have to do it. You know, it's just the market. So next man up gets that contract, and he was going to get that money somewhere else. So I'll say fact.
Witz, I think you'll appreciate it because I think you backed the Jason Hayward thing in Chicago for the Cubs. 2 games away, I call it absolute fact. The guy wins the MVP for the Eastern Conference Finals and has definitely been carrying his part of the load in the finals, maybe more so than Jason Tatum, who's supposed to be number 1. 2 games away from calling that fact and never being able to take it away.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting point because we all, and I will put my hand up as well. I've said my fair share of things about Jaylen Brown, but he did win the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He's made some very big plays, and they're able to take it home. Then I think you got to say it worked out because the Celtics, say what you want about them, but they were the best team in the entire league through the whole regular season, right? They've been basically the best team in the playoffs. They're up 2-0 right now. So if it happens to work out, I don't see any reason why you say it wouldn't work out. So I think that's pretty much all I've got on the finals, unless you guys have any other bets, angles that you want to cover. Anything else on your mind?
I just think it just goes to the point of like these owners and GMs pay the money to win championships. So I think that championship 2 games from now solidifies the 250. I mean, it'll be worth every penny of Jaylen Brown. And this team doesn't look like it's going anywhere anytime soon. They keep talking about Horford's and Drew Holiday's, but I think Drew Holiday's still got a lot of NBA in him, right? They don't need him to be an athletic star. They just need him to be what he's doing right now. And then Kristaps finally looks like what he got drafted for. Is it annoying it's happening on Boston? Absolutely. Couldn't have put it together with Luka? Weird. Like Kristaps, who's banged up clearly still, is balling out. It is hard to watch that unicorn play. I mean, it definitely changes my perspective on how this series is going. And maybe I was ignorant to the whole Kristaps Porzingis thing, maybe thinking he wouldn't play, maybe thinking the injuries would be too much, but he is absolutely the difference maker in this series so far.
Yeah, I think that's just why the Celtics are going to close this out. Like, I think, Kristaps was great in game 1. He looked injured last night. He had a couple spurts.
A little bit later in the game, he started like
he went down hard once. He kind of started to limp around. He wasn't really on the floor at the end of the game, but Drew Holiday comes through 25 points. I mean, like, it's just the next guy on that team. And I know Peyton Pritchard didn't actually have an impact on the game, but that banked in half quarter at the end of the third quarter, just kind of a microcosm of the season for the Celtics in terms of all the different guys they have step up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it seems like whenever the Mavs are getting close, the Celtics, like any good team does, just find a way to stop the momentum. And the Mavs just can't seem to get over the hump, but they are going back home for game 3. So we'll see what happens. And they're actually a 2.5-point favorite in the first half of game 3, but a 1.5-point favorite for the game. So interesting halftime line there. But we've got a major this week. So let's move on. We're going to Pinehurst. And let's just start it off here. Door 1 or door 2, Rube? Scottie Scheffler or the field? I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
3-1. It's getting lower.
I don't think I could ever bet a 3-1 guy, but I just don't see a scenario where he doesn't win this tournament. Like, I think he's shown that he's by far the best player in the world, bar none. And his game even elevates more on hard golf courses, and that's exactly what Pinehurst is going to be this week. I think it's a very long course that's going to play very firm, very fast, which typically means scores are going to be much closer to par. Not a lot of putts are going to be made, and that's perfect for Scottie. I think if he needs to hit the ball in the middle of the green, make pars, birdie the par 5s, no one does it better than him. So my short answer is I'll take Scottie, but that's not who I'm going to bet because I just can never put money on a guy at 3-1 to win a golf tournament.
Oh my God. Tale of the 2 majors. What would you say last time? You said you were going to save all your money.
I was thinking about it, but I didn't. I probably will be kicking myself on Sunday for not doing it, but I just can't do it.
People might not think the Opening Edge is listened to, but it sounds like there's been a microphone chip here weeks after weeks because every sports pundit I'm reading, every betting website I'm looking at is saying save your money and just put it on the 3-1. Some websites are trying to tell you could get it at plus 333. I'm seeing 3-1 everywhere. Door 1 Wits. I'm opening it. Why? If I'm gonna, fuck it. If I'm gonna waste all my money, might as well be on the best player in the world instead of throwing it around. Do I have other picks for you guys today? Absolutely. But how much lower can we go? When is he just going to be even odds? Maybe minus 125.
He wins again. Might get close.
Yeah, I mean, this is where we are definitely in Tiger territory. I think, Rube, quote me if I'm wrong. I think the lowest Tiger ever got was plus 150.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but I think it was something like that.
I mean, yeah, you're like you said, Raz, 155 other guys that he's playing against, and he's based almost as close to even money as you can possibly get. So if he's able to win again, that would, I think, probably bring him even lower for the next tournament he plays in, because he did win this week at Muirfield. So I guess looking at the rest of the field, Raz, I know you had a couple bets, so long shot bets. Let's maybe another possible segment here. Do you have the chutzpah? Let me hear some long shot bets. Maybe 20, 30, maybe 100-1. Tell me another guy that can possibly take home this U.S. Open here at Pinehurst.
We're just going to chip away. We're going to take the same guy. He let me down once. We're going to see if he lets me down again. He's 100-1 this time, even better odds. Willie Z, baby. Give me Willie Z. 100-1. Going down deep. I also had a couple other ones for you, Wits, but Willie Z, I think, is my biggest one at 100-1. I also liked, who was my other guy? I liked Cameron Young, 80-1.
Cameron Young's a loser. He's a certified loser.
But I'm going to keep going to him as well. And then I had a weird, just like, prophecy in head thought of 40-1 Justin Thomas, also a bona fide loser at this point. But he's not, I don't think he's your chutzpah. I don't think he's your chutzpah pick at 40-1, but Justin Thomas, again, I am going full door 1 with Scottie, but those are my 3 if you had to jump on. Leave Cameron Young off, go Willie Z and Justin Thomas if you're listening to me.
I like it. Rube, how about you?
Yeah, I think one guy that I'll be taking is Cameron Smith. I think we're getting a severe discount on him compared to where he was. I don't really take live performance into consideration that much. He did finish tied with Anthony Kim at Live Houston this week, which is not a good thing. I think he was third to last in the field and shot 80 something on Sunday. But I mean, he's a guy that's played hard golf courses well in the past. Like he's always been a major contender. He's shown that he can win one. He's got a great short game. I think that's going to be pivotal at Pinehurst this week. There's going to be a lot of runoffs around these greens where guys are going to be playing out of some tightly mowed chipping areas, and it's going to be. I think that's going to be the key to winning this golf tournament is getting the ball up and down from around these greens. And I think if you're looking for a little bit of value, you think you saw him at 40-1 in most places. I think he's worth a look.
Yeah, and Rube, we were talking a little bit this weekend. A guy that we had really looked at very closely early in his career and never thought that he'd be here again. But John Rahm, sitting here at 25-1, we never thought we would see him over 20-1 for a major again. But here we are, 25-1. John Rahm. Is it worth any of your
definitely?
But what do you?
I don't know if he's playing. I don't know if he's actually playing.
Yeah. I feel like he's been hurt.
I definitely thought about it, Witz, but I saw something on Twitter that said he isn't at Pinehurst yet and doesn't plan to arrive tomorrow either. So if he does play, that means he's showing up on Wednesday, getting one practice round in and going to the first tee. So I'm not saying that means he can't win, but if he's not showing up the first 2 days, that definitely means there's something going on there. So I think just because of the health concerns right now for him, I'd steer away. But, to your point, are we ever going to get a John Rahm 25-1 floated out there again? It's like a carrot in front of a rabbit. I don't know if we can pass it up.
Yeah, it's interesting. But then kind of similar story here. Brooks Koepka, another guy a couple of years ago you thought you'd never see, over the number 20 again. And right this week, he's right around 20-1 at most books. But is that another guy that we can look out for a little bit this week? What do you guys think?
You love the live guys more than me. I'm not, unless I've just gone blank in the memory. They haven't won a major in ever. So I don't know. I just
Brooks won it a year ago, but yeah.
Oh, well, there's my faded memory. Brooks, he is who he is. What is he at? 4 majors, 5? I don't even know his fucking number. I don't like live guys. I got nothing to say about it. I was saying, Rube, you can do it. They just play a different game. Obviously, Brooks proving me wrong in my argument right here, but that's all you, buddy.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stay off Brooks this week. I think I'm also going to bet Bryson again. I just loved what I saw from him at the PGA Championship, and I just can't get enough of that guy. So I think he's around 20-1, which isn't the best price in the world, but
yeah, I'm seeing 18-1 right now, which was a little sad.
18-1, but yeah, just from pure talent. Like if Scottie somehow doesn't play well, who's the best player in the field? Hey, might be Bryson, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it definitely could be Bryson, and I know we were both on him. That one turn, still giving me bad memories, but I think I'm looking at one.
We were all riding him.
Yeah, we were all riding him, and he played great, so can't really say anything bad about him. But one guy that I'm looking at who's been playing really well as of late, pretty short odds, but I think fairly priced is Colin Morikawa. Between like 18-1, playing some great golf as of late. Can't seem to beat Scottie, right? Whether it was at Muirfield, whether it was at the Masters. But Colin Morikawa, I think that might be the pick near the top of the board that I'm thinking about this week. But I want to get your guys' thoughts. He's the one guy I think with how he's playing right now could possibly take him down. But you guys think he has any shot this week?
He wasn't my chutzpah pick, but he was one of the people I liked. I think he's playing good golf. I think I've been seeing a lot on Twitter about people giving him the treatment they were giving Xander Schauffele about not winning a major. Let's not forget Collins won 2. So you can never really put him back into that boat of him finishing second or being the second guy in Talladega Nights. I like Morikawa there. If you're looking to add anybody after putting the mortgage on Scottie Scheffler, why not go with the number 2 guy on the board? Yeah.
You better have quite the bankroll if you're betting Scottie and Colin Morikawa. I don't think that's
what I said
in the cards for anyone.
That's what I said. There's the mortgage. Put it out. I don't know. Just
break even if Scottie wins.
Yeah. There you go. I mean, I would put a larger amount, obviously, on Scottie, but I was looking at Colin. Again, I think I'm going through door 1, so asking me any questions is irrelevant. I just like the idea of Colin Morikawa. I have to talk as if Scottie's not in this tournament. I'm going through door 1 this week. I'm not hiding anything. My money's on Scottie, and a little dabble on Willie Z. But I'll let you, Rube, take it from here on the Morikawa train.
Yeah, I think Collins definitely got a chance. I think he played great this week. I was unfortunately on him for this week against Scottie, and he had multiple chances to get it done. I mean, that Muirfield was playing as hard as any golf course can play on Sunday this week. So it is what it is. Scottie did just enough to get it done. But yeah, Morikawa is hitting it close to where he was 3-4 years ago. Obviously, he's never been the best putter in the world, but I think at a U.S. Open, especially with the green complexes they have out there, you can kind of get away with it of making a bunch of pars. So yeah, this is if Scottie falters, sure, I could see him making a run.
Yeah, this should be fun. It's always cool seeing these guys being challenged, because it's just amazing. You go out, and even this weekend I went out and shot a couple hundreds out there, and on a couple easier courses. And you think about these guys shooting even par on as hard of courses as these are. It's crazy. But any other U.S. Open thoughts?
Can I say one of the best red Scottie lines I've seen? He is that good. He has won every tournament for a month when he has not held a pending felony charge. He also has finished 8th and 2nd, respectively, when he did have a pending felony charge. I thought that was a great line.
That is. Yeah. Did you also know that he has not won a tournament outside of January to April in his career? Another interesting food for thought.
Well, he won yesterday.
Yeah, he won this past week.
As it was before yesterday, that was like a big. He's won a lot, but
never won. Like the hot weather, I guess. Until yesterday. Yeah. This is supposed to be hot weekend, so maybe if that's a thing, maybe that's the one downfall for Scottie. He's supposed to be in the 90s at Pinehurst. I don't know. Maybe there's.
He looks like I'm not gonna lie. He looks like a sweater. That's a guy.
It was mild. Even though it was June this week, it was more mild temperatures in the Midwest, around 70 degrees. So maybe Witz is onto something. Fade him. Give me the field.
Yeah, very, very hard. I don't think I'm going to bet Scottie, but as we sit here next week, I'll probably be sitting here in a pool of regret. But I think that's good enough on the U.S. Open. Moving on to our next topic here, another new segment idea: explain your text. We're going to go to Roz right here. Earlier this week, I had a text from Roz in our group. I hate to be this guy, but women don't want women to succeed. Portnoy has a perfect rant about how screwed up it is leaving Caitlin off of the women's U.S. team. They fucking let Christian Laettner play with the Dream Team after his Duke season. You know how many eyes Caitlin would bring to the Olympics. Please, someone calm me down. Roz, explain your text.
I'm irate. We stand with Clark. It's just right behind me. I don't understand it, right? And Stephen A even tried doing something new today no one's saying anything that makes any fucking sense to me. All right. We live in a world, and especially in a country, where capitalism is king. Okay. And the only thing bringing money to the fucking WNBA or anything women's sports related, and this is not a misogynistic rant, right? I am all for women's sports. I am all for. I'm the eyes on it, right? I'm the eyes. Okay. I'm watching this sport. And whatever's going on with Caitlin Clark and the disrespect she's receiving / the keeping her, like, we want to do it for her safety. We want to do it out of respect for, like, she scored 37 points the other night. What do you need? What else do you need to see? Put her with the best players in the world. Have her gel with the best players in the world. All she's going to do is be on these Olympic teams moving forward. You're just suspending it 4 years. Like, what are we doing here? Like, do you want people watching this summer? I mean, it's going to be hard enough. It's in Paris. Like, I'm going to have to wake up super early to watch some of these things. But with Caitlin Clark on it, I'll watch. And the other complaint they're saying is they're worried that people would be upset about the amount of playing time she would get on that U.S. team. Who gives a fuck? Whenever she gets in, it's going to be electric, and people are going to wait to watch her get in. So you're going to get the eyes on all the other people playing before her. I don't get it. It makes absolutely no sense to me. I don't know who the fuck was in charge, but they made a grand error, right? And again, Caitlin, professional response, awesome response, just going to motivate her. She thinks she has so much respect for the players on that team. Just seems like a miss. They didn't do this to MJ. They even gave, like I said, they gave Christian Laettner, who wasn't even the best player in college basketball that year, a shot. It's insane to me. And now I'm so mad. I'm fucking arguing with people in the comment section on Instagram. I don't even know why. I don't respond. That's a dangerous zone. It's a shit zone. Nobody should be there. Nobody should ever put any insight on social media. I'm fucking pissed at everybody who's fucking saying, everyone's making a big deal. It is a big fucking deal. She is the WNBA.
I love it. I love it. Knew that would get you fired up. Rube, don't think we forgot about you.
Well, I'm waiting.
Text about a week ago.
What did I say?
About a week ago.
A little lighthearted. But Rube, last Monday you texted, Twitter needs to have a not safe for work button before they throw tits in your face, even if it's at a hockey game. It's dangerous to check Twitter at work now. Rube, explain your text.
I don't think there's much explaining going on. I think the Twitter world really banded together around that Oilers fan, and my casual Monday scrolling of Twitter at my desk while I'm having my coffee was a little bit alarming when that came up. And I got
you're one walk around from a firing. I was gonna say you're like one walk around from your supervisor, and
I thought Twitter was safe, but I guess not these days.
No. Hey.
Yeah.
She's sporting a good team and a nice pair.
Yeah, she's the type of fan you come heavy or don't come at all. So it was, yeah.
Dude, wait, you're really entering the danger zone with that segment. I like it. I'm willing to take the risk. It's like sitting at a fucking roulette table. You never know where the spin's going to go. But we've always said that, and this is only 3 of 6 of the other guys who are in a group text, but our text ever leak, we're in some trouble.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it basically sports related, but Rube's other big take was season 4. So I feel like we already kind of beat the dead horse on the Celtics taking the series. But yeah, wanted to get the Caitlin Clark in there, and then now I think we probably saved the last few minutes to talk a little NFL. I know that we're getting closer. We're starting to hear a couple things about the league. So another tester of a segment idea. Good find, or should I be fined? Kyler Murray, 60-1 to win NFL MVP this year. Does it have any life to it?
Give me your money, Wits. I hate when you do these ones.
This is just Wits. This is just Wits finding another way to just tell us his futures without telling us he already took all of these.
This is the backdoor. This is the backdoor response. This is like, hey guys, I really dumped my money in there already. So, but I want your takes. Maybe I made a good choice. Maybe I didn't. And that's what? That's the name of the segment, I guess. I would prefer you just hand me that money, but it's up to you.
I'll bet it with you.
I'm out on little Kyler.
Yeah, I think so. Am I? He didn't get any taller. And I just the Cardinals. I see, because we've had this conversation. The Cardinals performed better than expected last year. They added Marvin Harrison Jr. We know what this league does now when you have a receiver. I see it, right? I see the world in which you're living right now, Wits. But I think Kyler regresses again, and I don't even know where he's regressing from. Obviously, he looked great in that season. They went 11-1 to start. Honestly, MVP honors were up there. But I hate to do this to you, Wits. It feels like a little bit like a Carson Wentz thing. A blip in the pan. 11-1, both of them. Both of them then get hurt. Neither return to the status. I think the only reason he's still there is they're paying him way too much money to Carson Wentz him. So
that's fair. Just wanted to get the thoughts. I just felt like, with adding Marvin Harrison, Kyler Murray, like you said, that 1 year was in the MVP mix, right? He's a guy at the Cardinals, can have a pretty good year, and he throws for 40 touchdowns, rushes for another 5 or 6. I think he definitely has the talent to be up there. Just depends on whether he stays healthy, whether the Cardinals are in the mix. But early season NFL thoughts. I know that, we're kind of get into it, a little training camp, a little news here and there. Anything top of mind for you guys right now before we start getting into some, positional breakdowns outside of the Packers? Roz, any other thoughts on the league right now? Any surprises, things we should be looking for heading into the NFL season this year?
I did add another future. I added another futures click that I think you'll like, Xander. That $50 bet that was burning a hole in my pocket. That I couldn't get on an MLB bet. I just couldn't do it. So Jalen Hurts MVP is the first one in the holster for the year. I think he gets back to where he was 2 years ago. I'm all in on the Eagles this
I've
year.
never seen like a pancake flipping in a fucking pan, dude. I have never seen somebody flip more times than you have when it comes to Jalen Hurts, Rube.
That's fine.
Sickening.
I admit it. But I'm looking for value here. He was probably 6-1 to win MVP last year. He's triple that this year. So why not?
I haven't looked into it. I know we're going to do our futures episode here right after the NBA Finals when it comes to what we're putting in for next season. So I'm glad we're tossing some tidbits. The one thing I'm really looking to outside of the Packers, we'll keep it Packer friendly because it's going to be a Packer summer. The Buffalo Bills to me is like the biggest question mark. I don't know why I'm feeling that way because Josh Allen, MVP caliber quarterback. We know they keep doing the same song and dance every single year, losing to the Kansas City Chiefs and all that. But I think they're going to be bad. I think they're not. I think they're playing in a division now with the Dolphins. Take it or leave it, how you feel about Tua. And again, if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, the Jets, that it's not a given division for them anymore like it was for Tom Brady back in the day. And I think the Bills could be in some trouble for the first time since Josh Allen's like rookie season.
Yeah,
I think that's the thing I'm most curious to see unfold. I would take their under and wins, I guess, is like if I'm making a bet.
Yeah. Could see it. I think, they haven't broken through yet. And obviously, Diggs was a pain last year for Josh Allen, but he's still a good player. And I think you got to find a way to replace him somehow. And I don't.
But they don't even hold on to Gabe Davis, right? Like they didn't hang on to Gabe Davis.
They added someone? I forgot who, but it wasn't.
They added
like Laviska Shenault. Curtis Samuel.
No,
I mean,
yeah, well, yeah. So not much, right? But like,
I don't know. They drafted Keon Coleman,
who I do love, but again,
then they also have Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah,
but that defense got worse too. They lost both safeties. It wasn't just the offensive side of the ball. I'm just saying that team it's almost like that team has packed it in and like missed their Super Bowl. I don't want to ever like Josh Allen is young. If you're a Buffalo guy, you're not missing Super Bowl window yet, but like it does feel like they're going to have to now kind of do a regroup session with Josh Allen until Aaron Rodgers retires. It's just that seems like that timeline works. And I'm not saying the Jets are instantly the contenders there. I'm just saying this team is probably the worst Josh Allen team since his rookie season. And it's nerve-wracking because I like those matchups. I like the Bills-Chiefs. I like the Bills-Bengals. And I don't want to see a regression in Josh Allen's career. We don't need calling for heads being, is Josh Allen a franchise quarterback? He's a fucking franchise quarterback.
Yeah. And the one guy I didn't mention yet, but I think this guy is going to have a breakout year, and I'm ready for the very wits pick. But if you guys watch any of the Bills games last year, I think Khalil Shakir is going to surprise a lot of people this year. Can already see Roz is turning away. I think you're good. You look at Diggs and Gabe Davis departing, there was a lot of big plays in the Bills season last year, especially on third down when they relied on Khalil Shakir. And I think you add him with Keon Coleman, you've got the dual tight ends, and then you've got, Curtis Samuel as your fifth option, a guy who's, we're constantly waiting to break out, but he never has. I think you're looking at a receiving core that is still going to be, I think they're going to be just as good, even without Diggs. And my big thing on that division is, how do we know that Aaron Rodgers, coming off a torn Achilles, is still going to be Aaron Rodgers? Everybody, I think, is painting that picture with the Jets, but how do we know that he comes back and is still the same player? Because he certainly wasn't the past couple of years with Green Bay. I know he had a couple MVPs, but by the end of his time in Green Bay, I know you, Roz, you were one of them. You were ready to let him go, and that was 3 years ago. So
yeah, but I wonder if I let him go because of the drama. That would be my argument to you.
That was very fair. But who's to say that he comes back and just isn't, like Drew Brees at the end of his career, Peyton Manning, maybe he's just not the same guy anymore. I think a lot of people are assuming that he will be, but if he's not the same guy, if the Dolphins regress a little bit and the Patriots we know are probably going to be pretty bad, I think it could be a much more winnable division than a lot of people think.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it's a big unknown with Aaron Rodgers. I think we're really not going to know until week 1, like what we're getting out of him. Like, yeah, on paper, right, that team could be pretty good. But he's 40 years old or just under. I think he's not getting any younger. An Achilles injury, regardless of whatever drugs he took to get back in 6 weeks, which didn't actually happen. He's still getting older, so we'll see.
And we don't have a lot of time. We'll wrap it up, but we were just doing quick lookouts. I want to do one more that I think is just like a blaring thing. This is going to be in the NFC side of things. Cowboys. Dak struggling with contract situation. CeeDee Lamb not being at training camp. Them going back, or OTAs. Them going back to Ezekiel Elliott as the running back. I know they got Deuce Vaughn with another probably Wits pick over there. But the Cowboys. You want to talk about flux? It's once again a situation of Jerry Jones creating a culture that will remain in flux, right? Like Jerry Jones almost doesn't watch the action on the field. Instead, he reads the newspaper clippings the week or 2 weeks after and like is listening to people too much. Dak might not be a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but you need to invest and commit to somebody because this lack of commitment goes back to Tony Romo, goes back to before. Like, it's just there's always a weird air in Dallas. And they're like, oh, this is going to be our Super Bowl year. It's never your Super Bowl year because on top of all that, you're worried about what's going on. Your defense is getting older, not Micah Parsons, but Dexter Lawrence. It's not Dexter Lawrence. Who the fuck? DeMarcus Lawrence. I know. I don't want to mix him up with DeMarcus Ware. DeMarcus Lawrence, older. You lost your middle guys and Van Der Esch. And I know that's been a couple years removed. I'm just saying the defense isn't the same. Trayvon Diggs coming off of a knee injury. The Cowboys to me are another team that just they also didn't add anybody other than Ezekiel Elliott in free agency and Eric Kendricks, I think. Maybe. I don't even know if that deal ended up happening. But I don't know. It's just a weird Dallas did nothing in free agency, nothing crazy in the draft, and they are having problems with their franchise quarterback and their franchise receiver. Like, get the fuck out of here. Dude, CeeDee Lamb's numbers better than Justin Jefferson. And now you're screwed because now you know what the market is with Justin Jefferson getting that deal. CeeDee Lamb is going to be begging for some cash. And it doesn't sound like Jerry's ready to do it. He's going to let him walk like Amari Cooper. He's going to let him walk like every receiver he's had before him. I mean, Dallas is a weird clusterfuck, and I don't understand. I'm just over it.
I think we're going to get the same Cowboys. I think it's
what 9-7, 10-7.
No, they're going to win 12 games and flame out in the playoffs. They do it every year. I'm not expecting anything different this year.
12 games you think they're going to win this year? My God. Okay. Which, I mean,
what would they win this year? I don't know. It's probably 12, 13 wins this year.
Now, Dak's got to come and play for sure. And then they're going to have to have people on the field. No more Gallup.
I was going to say all roads lead back to Gallup.
Yeah.
Or maybe Jalen Tolbert.
Who knows if they're going to let him play? I don't know. It's just fucking crazy. You don't have a take on. You don't think the Cowboys are a little bit of a mess, Wits? I feel like you being on your Eagles bandwagon, this is almost the perfect narrative for Roz, the Cowboys look like shit and are run like shit.
Yeah, but I mean they've kind of been run like shit for the past 30 years, so it's not like something I could be very surprised about. And I think I mentioned even a couple months ago, I did like the Eagles to win the division, and I think they've made a couple good adjustments, especially in the coordinator game. Right, seemed like that was kind of the weak spot near the end of last year. Is Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon. I think were very integral part of their success, and bringing in Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore. Not to say that those guys are exactly the same, but I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see the Eagles team that you thought might have won the Super Bowl when they almost did against Kansas City a couple of years ago.
But they did get better. I mean, even if you want to shit on Saquon Barkley, I think that's an upgrade to DeAndre Swift. And I know Rube is completely off of this running back conversation, but they kept their receiving core did not leave. AJ Brown's still there. Devontae Smith still. Dallas Goedert's going to be fully healthy coming into the season. I'm with you.
Allegedly.
Hey, I believe in it. He had injury problems last year. He's been healthy to date. I just want to make that claim. So I don't know. I'm with you on the Eagles, and I'm shitting on the Cowboys.
Yeah, and I think the Giants are. We're kind of waiting for a changing of the guard there. I don't know if it's a quarterback, if it's a head coach, but they're kind of just a worse version of the Cowboys. And Washington, they just drafted a rookie quarterback, so see how that goes. But that's a good start on the NFL. Didn't really have much else besides that, so. Why don't you take us off from here?
Well, that's this week's episode, everybody. Like we said, I mean, by the time you see us next, that white flag I said was put up for a reason. We could be done with the NBA. Maybe we talk a little puck. I threw some money on Edmonton just because there's no reason behind it. They have the best player in the world, but you don't need to have the MVP or best player in the world in hockey because they're barely on the fucking ice. So nothing really to do there. By the time you hear us next, we could be fully into NFL talk, just preparing 13 more Sundays until we get our boy Scott Hansen back, giving us everything we need in the red zone. Yeah, we're nearing dead sports season, and that's when we shine with our NFL talk, NFL preparation for the season. We create fantasy championship winners. You're looking at 3 of them on the board right now, and you're looking at the best fantasy player in the world talking to you currently. And then we're going to get you all the bets you need to win a bunch of money come February when you can lock up your futures. This has been The Opening Edge, everybody. We'll catch you next week. Peace.